All right, let's talk about one of the most critical and often overlooked pieces of your private cloud AI puzzle, storage. We're going to break down the kind of high-performance architecture you absolutely need to keep your AI initiatives from grinding to a halt.
Now, before we jump in, just a quick heads up. This is Module 7 of a 15-part tutorial. It's an overview that's based on a really comprehensive report by Virtualization Options LLC. Think of it as general guidance. It's not legal or financial advice, so you'll definitely want to chat with your own financial, technical, and legal advisors before taking any action. Oh, and it's worth noting, these modules only really scratch the surface of what's in the full research report.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the biggest problem in AI infrastructure, the data bottleneck. Then, we'll figure out what fast enough actually looks like. We'll compare the two big philosophies for shared data, look at 4 common ways to build this stuff out, and finally, wrap up with how to manage your data and your budget smartly. So let's get right to it. The #1 problem that can cripple an AI project isn't a lack of computing power. It's that your super powerful, super expensive GPUs are literally starving for data. If your storage can't feed them fast enough, they just sit there. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Every single second a GPU is idle because it's waiting for data, you're actively wasting money. You're throwing away compute capacity, and you're stretching out your training times, which, just costs even more. It's a vicious cycle. And if you needed any more convincing about how important this is, just look at this number. We're talking about storage making up 20 to 30% of your entire AI infrastructure cost. This is not a rounding error. Getting this piece wrong is an incredibly expensive mistake. Okay, so we know we have a problem. How do we fix it? We need to establish a baseline for performance. We need to define what fast really means in the context of AI.
So here's your starting point. The modern standard, the absolute table stakes for serious AI work, is all-flash NVMe storage. I mean, look at those numbers. We're talking about read performance over 7 gigabytes per second per drive, with latency so low you measure it in fractions of a millisecond. This is the foundation.
But here's the multi-million-dollar question, right? It's one thing to have a super fast drive inside one computer. It is a completely different challenge to deliver that same screaming fast performance across a network to dozens, maybe even hundreds of machines, all demanding data at the exact same time. And that challenge leads us to a fork in the road. There are really 2 dominant philosophies for how to build shared storage for AI, and they approach the problem from very different angles. On one side, you have parallel file systems. These are the thoroughbreds, designed for one thing: maximum face-melting performance. They can scale to insane levels, but, well, they can be a bit complex to manage. On the other side, you have object storage. This approach is all about massive scale and simplicity. It uses APIs your developers already know and love, and it's cheaper per terabyte. The trade-off? You might not get that absolute peak performance. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get practical. How do we take these technologies and actually build something with them? Let's look at 4 common blueprints. This chart is so important because it proves there is no single right answer. It all depends on what you're doing. If you're doing large model training, you need hundreds of gigabytes per second of bandwidth. That screams parallel file system. But if you're doing inference serving, your needs are totally different, and something simpler might be a perfect fit. You have to match the tool to the job. And that brings us to these 4 patterns. You can go with a simple local NVMe approach, go all in on a dedicated parallel file system for raw power, use object storage with some smart caching for simplicity, or you can build a hybrid system that tries to give you the best of all worlds. Each one balances performance, cost, and complexity a little differently. All right, let's talk about the long game. Because a brilliant storage architecture that you can't afford to run in 6 months isn't really that brilliant, is it? We need to talk about cost. And this is where the concept of storage tiering comes in. It's a super smart strategy for balancing performance and cost. The whole idea is to automatically move data between different types of storage based on how often you're actually using it. That way, you're only paying top dollar for the fastest storage for the data that truly needs it right now. And here's what that looks like. Your hot data, the stuff you're actively training on, lives on that expensive, high-performance NVMe. Then you have warm data, stuff you accessed recently, which can sit on cheaper SSDs. And finally, cold data, like old archived models, gets moved off to slow, high-capacity, and really inexpensive disks, or even tape. It's simple, it's effective, and it saves a ton of money. And one last thing on budgeting. You have to plan for success. Successful AI projects generate more data. It's a fact of life. So you need to be baking a 30 to 50% budget increase for storage capacity into your plan every single year. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign you're doing things right.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at your own infrastructure, is your storage a solid foundation that's actually fueling innovation? Or is it the silent bottleneck that's holding your progress back? The answer to that question could change everything.